Welcome to the Deconstructing Data podcast. I'm Jessie Lezak, fractional CMO at BDEX, along with BDEX's founder and CEO, David Finkelstein. So great to have you back on the show. How are things going, David?
Hey, Jesse. Thank you. Traveling last week, so it was good to have DW step in for me. But glad to be back.
Awesome. And we are privileged to introduce Kamal Shaik, the Chief Data Officer at Real Messenger. Kamal has impacted the business landscape by crafting data-centric products spanning domains like social networking, ads, and marketing. And he's got profound experience in AI and, of course, machine learning, data, business intelligence. He's been at the forefront of blending analytics, data engineering into transformative products and programs. So let's bring him on here. Welcome to the show, Kamal.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you for hosting me. Hi, David. How are you?
Hey, glad to have you on the show today, Kamal. Appreciate you taking the time to join us. Why don't we kick this off with you giving us a little background? Tell us a little bit about your history, what led you to Real, and tell us a little bit about what Real is doing.
Sure. Before joining Real, I was at Meta for about 5 years, working on different data-centric products, specifically on the AML that is centric to customer 360, recommendation engine, sentiment analysis. Basically, during this product developments, implemented several AML modeling techniques, utilized several AML tools and tech stack, which was internal to Meta, at the same time some external products. Earlier to Meta, I was in a startup company, which was later acquired by Accenture AI. Again, that is because of the product that we developed using data science and machine learning algorithms for a telecom company. So that actually my journey before Real in data side of the spectrum. At Real, I am very excited about Real and its future prospects. It is very specific to PropTech domain, but carrying the DNA of social networking platforms. At Meta, I dealt with a lot of data related to Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, those kind of things. At Real, we deal with the similar DNA. We do have features that are actually similar to social networking platforms. So what excited me to join at Real is having the DNA of social network platforms and implementing AML solutions for PropTech industry. That actually excited me to take up this chief data officer role at Real. So that's about me and my journey into Real.
That's awesome. Well, I love this idea of merging the sort of social media aspects and real estate. So tell us a little bit more about that. I'm curious about that, how this all works.
Yeah, so if you look at some of the existing players like Zillow, Redfin, they are developed based on desktop solutions, mainly to list the properties, to help agents to list the property, showcase their inventory, those kind of things. But when it comes to Real, we are more mobile centric. We do have like a messenger application that helps agents, buyers, sellers communicate at the same time. They can do all the functions like posting a listing, posting a reel, videos, real moments, those kind of things in the app. These are the key features that any agent is looking for. So at Real, we are covering all those basic features for an agent to function and be productive in sharing the listing information with their possible buyers and users, kind of thing. Now, what is special about Real, and also what is special that we are trying from AI ML aspect? So there may be a lot of listings, there may be a lot of users, there may be a lot of agents, but behind the scenes, we are developing a data engine that integrates AML. There are three key components. One is customer 360 that completely understands the customer needs and wants. Then there is a second component that is recommendation engine. That recommendation engine actually understands the customer needs and goes through the list of products and services that are provided by our agents as well as the sellers, and then map with these customers and provide those uh, leads to these particular users, which are probable buyers kind of thing. That is going to help both the agents as well as the sellers in terms of productively spending their time, at the same time having highest possible leads that are actually getting closed kind of thing. These are the two, like I touched customer 360 and recommendation engine. The third component is related to natural language processing. Generally, we are using that for sentiment analysis. The sentiment analysis can tell whether agent is performing well or the buyer is getting what they want. So it can go in both ways. Like agent can understand the sentiment of the customer can understand the uh, aspects of the agent and those kind of things. So sentiment analysis we are not only using for the internal needs to improve the customer service of an agent or a seller, those kind of things. We are also using sentiment analysis for external aspects, like let's say if the interest rates are higher, how it is going to impact the sentiment of the buyer. So we are also covering this sentiment analysis from micro and macro economic perspective. So we are giving a complete prop tech domain centric data driven product behind the scenes through real application.
Very cool. So if I'm working with an agent and the agent keeps showing me homes that don't have the features I'm looking for, and I'm getting frustrated, this will sort of signal them to that and help them guide me a little better, right?
Yeah. That's
Very
where
cool.
the sentiment analysis works, kind of thing. How engaged they are, how much interested they are, those kind of things. Yeah.
Been there for sure. That's very
interesting.
cool. So, I mean, with your experience on the AI and ML side, obviously one of the topics that we wanted to explore is ChatGPT. But I think we should even consider further, right? In the sense that everybody talks about ChatGPT, and we talk about it a lot simply because everybody talks about it. But we talk about a lot about the fact that that's sort of, the public's sort of hands-on view of what AI can do. But in your example, that you just gave, for example, and we talk a lot about other examples in our world as well, AI and ML are being used for a lot of other things that isn't, front and center for people. So let's talk a little bit. I'd love to get your feedback, on ChatGPT and what the potential is there, but also going further into just AI in general, where you see the potential.
Sure. Let's start with ChatGPT. Yeah, I have spent a reasonable amount of time in terms of exploring ChatGPT related features and options. Currently, ChatGPT is very generic in terms of the content that it is trying to support. But there are some areas where it is having a lot of in-depth content integrated, especially when it comes to technical programming. If somebody trying to write a software program, they can get very good help from ChatGPT. But if somebody is trying to solve a finance problem or a prop tech problem, or they are trying to have some insights into these kind of domains, they may get very generic information, not specific information. So that's the pros and cons. There are pros of ChatGPT. It is very, very helpful for educational institutes or people who are doing coding, those kind of things. But it's not very helpful at this time because of the content that is covering for some of the industries like fintech and prop tech kind of thing. So ChatGPT is also providing some kind of APIs where people can use some of their features. That again, actually, we can give a simple textual input behind the scenes. ChatGPT can parse and identify those keywords. It can search the database and get the information related to those keywords, kind of thing. So there are different features that they have in their API services. So that is that either we can rely on ChatGPT or we can build on our own, because there are a lot of similar services available within SaaS platform. And also it won't take much time for any existing DS ML AI teams to build that kind of features. So with ChatGPT, I'm not seeing ChatGPT kind of replacing agents work in real estate or replacing listing or disrupting any existing players at this point of time. Now coming back to AI, AI is definitely is going to help all aspects of prop tech. In general, what I have observed, prop tech is a little bit slow to adopt to the new tech kind of thing. But nowadays, I'm seeing more interest in prop tech industry as well to adopt to the new technology. That's where I see a lot of people talking about AI. Even existing prop tech players are also trying to integrate ChatGPT API, those kind of things into their services. So AI is not a kind of is not going to replace agents, buyers, and sellers, but in fact, it is going to make them more productive, kind of thing, and also going to save a lot of time and cost for these particular players in the prop tech industry. So AI can, like, if we are talking about AI from agent perspective, it can give a lot of different user profiles, different marketing techniques, different discoverable features for agents. At the same time, AI can give similar features for the buyers who are interested not only in one demographic location, maybe interested in multiple demographic locations, those kind of things. So AI can enable, as I mentioned earlier, the customer 360 perspective, understanding the complete customer needs, then the recommender system that can actually work hand in hand with customer 360, then the NLP, the sentiment analysis aspect, which are all part of these AI engines, can help all the three key players in the market, buyer, seller, and agent, in different aspects. And also it can help to avoid some of the manual steps that are involved, that may take some time to go through the manual process. Through AI, those are the steps that are going to happen on the fly in the system, in a mobile or on a desktop kind of thing, that will speed up several prop tech related process steps, and it will speed up the time from listing to closing, and also the cost from listing to closing is going to reduce, and time is also going to reduce, kind of thing. So that's my take overall on AI side and ChatGPT side. But I can go deeper in any of these aspects, taking agent on perspective, buyer's perspective, and seller's perspective.
Yeah, it's interesting from a buyer's perspective. We had another company on here a couple of months ago that was also in prop tech, and they're working on an AI technology to help predict potential sellers of homes. So, for example, you're at any given time, there's a limited inventory, right? And there's always that. But their thought process is that there is a certain percentage of home, sellers, potential sellers, that could be interested in listing their home in the next 3 to 6 months.
Yep.
And if you can predict that and identify those homes ahead of time, then you may be able to actually find buyers for those homes even before they end up, actually listing them.
Yeah, agree with you.
Yeah. And I thought that was really interesting, and wanted to see if you had ever heard of anything like that before.
Yeah, definitely. Like, see, movement of the customer, there are a lot of data points there, right? Say if like we do have a lot of external data available, example, CoreLogic, these kind of companies, Autumn. In fact, we have collaboration with Autumn, where we get prop tech data coming in, kind of thing, from external sources. So even if you look at USPS, which provides change of address related data to insurance companies, banking, and all, right? So there are a lot of opportunities in AI to integrate external data with the internal data, and then, as you said, predicting something that is going to happen in next 3 to 6 months, then prepare the relative stakeholders in that particular process ahead of a time, so that they have the leverage over the competition, and they can definitely take the advantage of having most powerful, robust, accurate AI engine integrated into their PropTech software or application. Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, I think this is a good spot to transition into the second topic, which is refining workflows for digital success. So I'm curious to hear about this from you. Kamal, could you kick us off?
Yeah, this again goes back to some of one point that I have mentioned, automating several manual steps that are actually, taking more time to complete certain steps in the PropTech, buying process kind of thing or selling process kind of thing. So digitization of the workflow definitely automates several steps. See, right now, what we are talking about, like listing a property till closing a property, there are so many steps, right? I mean, getting the offer, then accepting the offer, moving the property into contingent state, then there will be a process related to finding a loan lender, and also at the same time having certain home inspections done, appraisals done, then at the same time uh, have kind of insurance covered, work with the title company, then set up a like closing date, then by the closing date have all these steps completed so that the closing is not stopping as planned, it is moving forward kind of thing. So there are so many different processes and steps that can run in parallel. Some of them should go in sequence. So this workflow digitization can help in terms of all the repeating manual processes to go automate to get into automation kind of thing. So that is going to, like, whatever common steps are there between listing the property till closing are going to have this digital transformation in the workflows. That is specific to PropTech selling process, listing process, kind of journey what I have addressed here. Now, if we are thinking beyond this, like when contingent offer is accepted, there is a like kind of a purchase order kind of thing that is generated. There is a contract and all that kind of thing. So there are external softwares like CRM, contracts related, and also like some accounting related products coming into the picture. So this workflow digitization can spread its wings even beyond from listing to selling to the downstream, where this process is kind of integrating the CRM software into PropTech workflow, and that workflow is actually eliminating some of the manual steps that comes into the picture, so that the entire end-to-end closing process that includes insurance companies, mortgage companies, lenders, buyers and sellers, bank accounts, the transactions related to that, the purchasing related, regulatory related, CRM related activities also getting integrated into this workflow. So all this, there is a lot of scope to eliminate several manual steps in this journey, and there is an opportunity to digitize and automate several steps as part of this workflow enhancements.
So I have a question. How far along are we actually in this improving this workflow process to the point where you think that we'll actually be able to buy a home online?
Actually, in some cases, during COVID, what happened, there were a lot of situations where home buying happened completely over online. I mean, people living in California without going to Florida bought homes in Florida. People living in Florida bought homes in Phoenix, Arizona, without going to Phoenix, Arizona. These all things happened, but there was some phone calls, some video calls, and also those kind of some manual steps. So David,
Manual paperwork and things like that.
manual paperwork,
Yeah.
signing, scanning, or attaching documents and sending it to the communication, like making sure this person is the right person, verifying the social security, checking their IRS, all that kind of stuff, right? So yeah, to answer to specifically where we are in terms of, I mean, we have identified the areas during last 2-3 years, the possible areas where the digitization can happen in this workflow. So some companies already started kind of implementing those kind of um, steps. In our case, at Real, we are from the ground up. We are all we have identified this complete automated related steps. We are kind of implementing certain a phased approach, not like we don't want to build something that is not trained well with several million users kind of thing. So we are in a kind of a threshold where we are identifying all the possible workflows where digitization is possible and cost savings and time savings are possible kind of thing. That includes the downstream purchase orders integration, CRM integration into real app, those kind of things, and also like any communication, any um, manual steps that are happening between title companies, mortgage companies, insurance companies, maintenance companies, those kind of things, appraisals. We have identified those. It may take some time, like at least uh, uh, I cannot predict exact timeline, but yeah, things are in progress in terms of automating several steps. If we go back, example, you take insurance bill. If you go back like 15-20 years back, we used to get paper bill and we used to attach check and send to
Sure.
cash the check. So then we got online billing system where people are just going there and paying. Then we attached the automated processing. Every month it automatically deducts from credit card or the bank account. So it will go gradually. It won't happen in one single step because there are certain regulatory constraints. There are certain sensitive information related aspect. We need a lot of data security and data encryption. Yeah, the data and the move should be well protected, and data at rest should be well protected. So that it is not like kind of a developing something as an internal application. We have to work with several external agencies in terms of automating and all that. So it will take some time, but it will eventually happen over a period of time.
I think it'll be really interesting when that happens, because to me, I think that there's a huge investment opportunity. There's an opportunity for investors
Mhm.
that if you can streamline the process of buying and selling homes, there's obviously a huge market of people that do that as an investment to begin with. But I think that when you streamline that process, then real estate becomes sort of a commodity that could be bought and sold and exchanged in an interesting way.
Yeah, it can speed up a lot of, yeah, it can open a huge marketplace again,
Yeah.
as you said. Yeah. Assume one quick scenario. We don't know when, but when you go for an open house, instead of human, let's say robo is kind of inviting you, and you just scan your driver license, and it is getting your information, and it is kind of demoing the room, and robo is collecting the customer who visited the house and leaving. Then everything is happening in the back end through robo, and the data is telling whether this particular customer is a possible going to close the house. It is predicting, right? And uh, when this customer is ready to buy, he is going to just use some kind of automated system to completely complete the purchase of the home and own the home kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, some things like we can demo the room over video and all, but many people still like to see the house if they are really going to stay there and live there, those kind of aspects. So yeah, there are all possible scenarios. Nowadays we are seeing some of the restaurants already having robots serving the customers, those kind of things. So we cannot rule out complete automation starting from listing, showcasing, closing the house,
Yeah.
and getting automated.
You could even get an online tour, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Definitely. Well, that's all really cool. I'd love to hear from you about the social home browsing app a little more. And there's 100,000 users in 1 year. That's pretty amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, sure. So our app got a lot of interesting features like um, interactive chat. We have newsfeed. Agents and sellers, they can create a demo reel. They can also have a first look video. They can create a story. They can connect with followers. People can do likes and all that stuff. So there are very interesting interactive features that are part of real application. We also introduced recently real moments where we can tag best school near neighborhood, or a hiking trail, or a park, or a lake, a boating club, those kind of things as well. So our app is very, very interesting and exciting for our customers. So that actually created our founder Thomas. We got another co-founder, Frederick, who is specialized in the luxury home buying sector. So, like, they actually started this journey last year, and we do have CTO Philip, who comes from the gaming background. He created very intuitive, interesting UI UX with his development team that actually helps agents to list their properties and chat, connect with the possible like prospective buyers, and users can open their account and they can browse the listing and all that stuff. So the spiral growth happened. We had a few events happened. I think one of them happened in Florida, Miami last year in July, and then from that point onwards, we are seeing consistent growth, consistent user engagement. Downloads are like spiking. We are also kind of making sure the mobile responsiveness and the scalability is kind of intact and well designed, and it is modular. It is on the cloud, and it actually provides that kind of speed, agility, and ease of using the app kind of thing. So all this coming together actually helped to reach to that milestone that you are mentioning, 350K plus user downloads and engagements kind of thing. We are still a long way to go. I think we are just in the beginning stage. We are hoping to become one of the key player in prop tech industry, and very positive about our future commitments.
Very cool. Well, I
Yeah.
like how you're talking about UI, UX, and user, feedback and experience. So
Mhm.
I think that probably contributes a lot to it.
Yep, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Um, and then with tech stack, so this is our final topic, unless there's anything else you wanted to add on social home browsing before I transition on.
I mean, like for all our audience, I definitely recommend give a try to Real app. It's available in Android OS as well as on iOS platforms. Anyone can simply download, whether register or not. You can explore. So you will definitely like our app, and that actually brings them frequently to our app. That's how we retain our customers and those kind of things. Our AI engine behind the Real app actually make sure the relativity is there, ranking is there, and discoverability related aspects are there, and they are getting right content based on their interest and based on their choices kind of thing. So we value our customers time that they spend in app, and we want to give best possible value for their time that they spend in our app kind of thing. So all our efforts are in those lines. We'll keep our efforts continuing to help our agents, sellers, buyers and users who are just there for exploring and understanding the market, those kind of things. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check it out because it's one thing I always like to do, especially in this past year with all the hurricane. There's been a lot of buying and selling activity on the island. Most of the homes are damaged, and so it's been really interesting watching the sales and what's been going on. So I'm gonna actually download this and take a look at it and it's something I'm kind of a regular at looking at the real estate on my island because it's a small island community and everybody kind of always wants to know what's going on. So I'll definitely be downloading that, checking it out.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So if people just go to the app store, would they search Real Messenger, or what's the app called?
Yeah, Real Messenger. But we are rebranding. We are focusing more on just the real. So we are going to moving forward. Our marketing and strategy is going to focus more on real. We'll be moving away from Real Messenger to Real. Actually.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that'll make it even easier. It sounds
easier
like.
easier. So yeah, I need to check whether the update already happened on Android and iOS platforms, but you can check with Real Messenger right now. You should be able to get it. Yeah.
Very cool.
Or I can share the links later after the call.
So I'm guessing when I ask about the tools that are your favorite in your tech stack, one of them might be Real Messenger. But in addition to that, what are some of your favorite tech stack tools that you and your team use that help you be productive during your day?
Sure. So yeah, I would like to categorize this into multiple aspects. Basically, when it comes to core app development, we generally use a lot of cloud services. Currently, we are on Amazon AWS cloud. So we do utilize the services, macro services that are already available. Generally, compute, storage, and security network components we are utilizing from AWS, and our product is SaaS based. So those are core app related favorites, obviously, as part of that core development. Then the second aspect, when it comes to AI, ML, data, business intelligence, building a data lake, that is my core responsibility at Real. So for data teams, we do use like TensorFlow kind of tool that deals with AI, ML algorithms and all that stuff. But technically, we are highly relied on Python kind of code to build all this stuff. So, but at the same time, all our AML and data lake, business intelligence, data marts, data warehouses, everything is sitting on, again, AWS cloud. We do use certain AWS existing databases such as Athena, Redshift for our columnar kind of database structure that we have on data lake. That supports our internal, external data related activities in terms of hosting the data. And then for our model building training, as I mentioned, we'll go with the TensorFlow, those kind of things. To present a use case, user journey and all that, we do use certain visualization tools that includes QuickSight. If we need to tell more enhanced or advanced story, generally we rely on Power BI, Tableau kind of external tools on that front. So that is on the data side of the story, the tools and tech that we generally rely on. Obviously, to deal with database, we always use SQL, structured query language, to provide any insights, data insights, operational efficiency related insights, KPIs, metrics, and all that. Generally, Python SQL combination presented in visualization tools such as QuickSight, Tableau, Power BI kind of thing.
Wow.
Sounds like a lot of the same stuff we're using.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And might be some of the more technical tools that, we've heard here on the Deconstructing Data podcast in terms of tech stack. Don't you think, David?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Don't usually hear people mentioning AWS cloud, but
Mhm.
or even
Yeah.
Athena or any of those other things. But
Mhm.
I think it's really important, especially since we have a chief, data officer here. So it's important to have those tools brought to light too. So thanks for mentioning them.
Definitely, definitely. So basically, when it comes to data, we have to make choices whether we need to go with relational type of databases such as MySQL, Oracle, these kind of things, or shall we go with columnar big data supporting databases such as Hive, Presto. I dealt with that in at Meta. Similar characteristics, Athena, those kind of things. So,
Yep.
yeah. When it comes to data storage, since we are a growing company, my motto is to have best possible architecture in modular form, which is easy to scale as we grow and responsive enough and best performing kind of thing. So that is my like architecture related approach in terms of supporting our AIML data platforms. Yeah.
Perfect.
I can think of a lot of people who will appreciate what you just shared. So thank you so much for that, Kamal. And I
Yeah.
think we have just a few more minutes that we can get into some post-topic questions.
Mhm.
So we would like to hear from you, Kamal. If you could go back to when you first, came into, we'll say, working with data,
Mhm.
what is the number one piece of advice you would have given yourself?
Yeah. See, I have seen during the data, like, I mean, when the data science boom started, I have seen many companies building data lakes with a lot of necessary and unnecessary data that resulted in started people calling it as data swamp kind of thing. Don't know which is valuable data, which is not kind of thing. My journey actually started on the data side from business intelligence, data warehousing kind of era, then transformed into data science, big data, now into AIML, this kind of area. So my advice is in the beginning stage, make sure the data lake is identifying all the relevant, significant data that is not only just going to help one specific team, but across the board. In general, bigger organizations will have data science team, AML teams, data warehouse, business intelligence, these kind of teams. So everybody is having their own kind of needs and wants. Uh, I think I'm going in an elaborated way. Just a quick advice: just make sure you are looking at an aerial view, all the needs of the organization when capturing the data into data lake. Having a quality data lake with all the relevant data is going to empower the organization to create miracles kind of thing. Yeah.
That's excellent. Yeah, that's excellent advice for sure.
Yeah.
Jesse, unmute.
It's still on mute. Sorry. I've
Yeah.
got children in the background. Hopefully, doesn't interrupt. But going off that, are there any lessons you've learned along the way from past jobs or your current job that you think everyone should know?
Yeah. Yeah, there are some lessons learned. Like I have seen many organizations staying with the current and past related data insights, uh, looking into operational efficiencies, where the bottlenecks, where the problems, kind of thing. And some organizations stay in that mode for longer duration than required, kind of thing. That actually stops them to enter into the high growth competing market areas, kind of thing. So my approach in general, always keep, like example, if we are talking about OpenAI, ChatGPT, what all the possibilities, and we are looking at pros and cons and all that stuff. So always look for the next possibilities with the data, and just not only AI ML, what all the other value the data can bring for the organization. We also touched on the workflow digitization, and also any possible downstream, upstream related integration and all that stuff. So some of the areas I have seen reluctant and defensive approach towards a change, but change is good. But that change should not be just because of some company did some kind of research and they are suggesting this is good for all the industry. It won't work that way. Every company, every domain, every organization related strategy and vision should align with this change. So yeah, be ready for that change that is actually going to happen through the data, AI, ML, and data science kind of approaches that will actually prepare organizations and teams uh, to handle the future needs, not even the current and past needs kind of thing. So prepare your teams and data teams especially to handle the future using the current internal and external data points.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. It's like, not just be prepared for the change, but make it purposeful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Well, thank you for leaving us with that, Kamal. And if anyone in the audience wanted to reach you, how could they do so?
Yeah, Kamal at real.co is my email ID. Yeah, they can reach out to me. I will be happy to answer their questions. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this has been great, Kamal. We appreciate you coming and joining us on the show today.
Great. So thank you for hosting me. It's my pleasure here to share my views. Great questions from you, Jesse, David. I enjoyed this conversation. Yeah, thank you very much for bringing me on board for this podcast. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kamal. And, audience members, if anyone enjoyed this conversation, they might like to check out OmniIQ. I'm going to pull up a QR code for anyone who's seeing the video, but for any podcast listeners later on, you can just go to bedex.com and click the try for free button. No credit card required. You just upload your first party data and you can get some free analytics on your data. And if you like that, you can upgrade to get even more analytics on your data. And then you can, create audiences too. So they're doing a lot, and there's API. I'm sure we could go on and on. Anything you want to add, David?
No, that's perfect. I guess the only other thing is just aside from getting those analytics, you can identify more customers that look like your best customers and improve your targeting to those people. So that's kind of the ML part of our platform that allows you to build extended audiences based on your best customers.
Absolutely. And we would love to hear from listeners. So you can reach us at info@bedex.com. Share your qualitative data with us so we can keep this great for you. So thank you so much again, Kamal, for joining us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, David.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.